bring Kramer out of harm's way.
Nope, favorite. 10 games, 13, 14 games here for the Nautilus. So
Glad Mark agrees with me. Great to see this Leona, and we come back to it, right? We have similar comps in the sense that we have this global pressure in the mid lane. We have a lot of kill pressure, especially in bot, right, between Chains of Corruption and Transversal Arrow. Ton of engage coming out from both supports. I would say there's some early gank options for topside, especially for the side of LGD when you do run the Renekton and want to try to get that lane matchup ahead. But this game is going to be completely decided around those first critical ultimates coming out from both W9D3 and Xie. I do feel like Tien has more options since he's playing the Lee Sin, so has an easier time finding ganks and getting into lanes, unlike the set, which obviously really can only run in, or you can look to flash E. So going to be way more situational. So for the side of FPX, I really like their gank setup in mid especially. Galio with the taunt just sets up so easily for a Sonic Wave from the Lee Sin and all the burst he provides, especially onto something like a Twisted Fate in the very early levels before he can pick up a Rod of Ages.
And then it feels like we get rolling a little bit, and you know, you're talking about global pressure, and then these mid laners enter fights around objectives, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and early on especially, right, it's going to be all around bot lane. It's going to be setting up for these big dragon fights. And top laners, it's going to be about, you know, can we gank top, get a TP advantage on someone, so then, hey, you know, if Tien ganks Longxing has TP back to lane, Gimgoon can walk, now we have TP advantage, now we can threaten this 5v4 number fight at Dragon. Out ahead.
I just love the similarities coming through. While they're not exactly the same, there are some key factors running into this. Fierce. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Summoner's Rift for what I'm going to say is a crucial matchup this week. If LGD win, Suning clap their hands and say thank you very much, secure the 4th playoff position in the LPL summer, while FPX keep their dreams alive, make their chances better, and could potentially move up to 8 wins themselves. Everything on the line for playoffs in summer.
Kind of nice that Suning are relying on Longxing to guarantee them a playoff placement. And again, Suning's fate is still in their own hands. Obviously, like Suning right now are sitting up at 10 wins, so they're feeling good, but
just kind of like the nice little cherry on top would be, well, we don't have to do anything more.
Exactly. If they don't have to worry anymore, they can just like a sigh of relief. Okay, guys, we're in playoffs.
But for FPX, the world champions currently sitting at 7-6. This was a really harsh split for them. They've been recovering, bringing in Gimgoon for the last 2 series, and they've picked up 2 wins in a row. So Gimgoon currently undefeated in series at the moment, relying on that momentum to run against LGD, who are on a 3-series win streak themselves, and are currently at 8-4.
And all against respectable teams too, right?
Yep.
They beat EDG, they beat WE, they beat RNG. So all teams either, you know, EDG and RNG kind of in the middle, slightly below, and then WE, who is a playoff team right now. WE are actually above them in the standings.
They are. Let's take stock of this game, though, because you can see down there, it's about FPX knocking out Rogue Warriors and E-Star, and after my investigation, Suning also being secured. But sir, I want to bring us into this game number 1 because it is pretty standard runes across the board. We've got the respective cleanse from both AD carries. We did talk about the level 6 mark for both Xie and W9D3, but jungle intervention early seems pretty crucial when you talk about Peanut and his ability to go top, which is already smacking from Gimgoon.
And I feel like we see this every time we see this matchup, right? We always see the Volibear come out ahead in these short trades. He is taking the press the attack against the Conqueror, so obviously the rune itself is much better in short trades.
But hey, Peanut's going bot instead.
Yes, and Mark does have that all-in option.
Muscles might need to be burned. Xena's played Ignite down. Crisp is tanky. The Facebreaker used Dredge Line to get on out. 1-2 summoners gone from Chris versus Ignite for Mark.
And you could see that he just tried to get the flash that was always aiming for. Maybe if they thought they'd potentially kill right, he would have held on to the E longer because you know Chris is going to flash at that point. But they got the pressure. They're going to head mid. And actually, Peanut going to head back towards his top side, but Gimgoon's here.
The Goon's walking, but Peanut with good timing's like, no, go top. It's like seeing it, you know, you see a dog on the street, you're like, no, walk away. No, of course. I know a bear is not that kind of animal, but he'll be walking back to the top side. And back to his croc where he was dominating a little bit before. So Peanut goes back to his own farm. And will continue clear towards the bottom side where you can see Tien is up towards his top side for now. Cheeky little brush ward on the left side of the lane for Xie as he pushes up.
To be honest, we didn't expect too much action early on. We can see Xie's been doing a good job in this matchup, and it's one that's not too hard for Twisted Fate to navigate because, I mean, if Galio ever does look for the E-in, right, you pull out the gold card, you stun him, he's not able to get his taunt out, you walk away, and then you win out the trade from there as he's kind of backing up and you have that range advantage. But overall, we said the point where this map will probably explode is going to be more around that level 6 mark, especially once we can see a team start posturing for Dragon. I really want to see how Tien gets involved in these lanes because you have set up in all three. We have the Nautilus in the bot lane, so joins in very nicely for your Q. We've talked about how the interaction works with mid lane. Gimgoon as well, going to be quite well if Longxing is in a position like this where he is, you know, pushing into Gimgoon's tower, though he does have a ward now, and you would expect him to get the bounce back if he wants.
Level 5 for Doomby and Xie.
And here, the interesting thing right now is the fact that, so we've seen Longxing recall and TP back to lane, to where Gimgoon still has his, so going to be interesting to follow that as well. We already talked about if a team can secure an early TP advantage in top side and then have more threat for an early Dragon or just an early bot lane play in general.
Mark's moving though. Going to be spotted out by a ward. Heading up towards that river. Now both junglers are making their move themselves. Tien acting respectively. But Chris still hasn't left the lane while we just go back top side. And even though it's not like tank versus tank, it does feel like we're on the edge as Gimgoon staying in the trade, confident with PTA. Longxing builds up his rage bar.
But that's also, Longxing was also confident as well, right? Because he got to the 12 stacks of Conquer, was willing to keep going. And LGD looking for this repeat play on bot side. So they're trying to make FPX think they're doing Dragon, I think. FPX not falling for it, though.
Backing in an interesting position outside turret range, but still committing to it.
Oh.
Out they go.
So that's what that play said to me, right? They weren't showing on the wave. They weren't showing in bot. So they were trying to make FPX thinking, hey, maybe we're on Dragon or getting control of vision in the river. Let's wait and try and bait them in. FPX not falling for it though. Getting the
time committed.
Gonna get because first just feels so massive. That massive power spike coming from your ultimate. Then you just win any 2v2, 3v3 on the map. So that could be a window that FPX try to abuse. And Gimgoon continuously pushing his wave and roaming to get information for his team, potentially looking for plays on mid is what it looks like with the pings coming down. But LGD do spot him out, they do respect it. But still, this is one of the nice things that Gimgoon brings to a team is he's very selfless. He's completely playing for the team and never for himself.
We'll even start this scuttle off. That's a nice little addition to the CS lead he was building on top side. Keeps him in range for mid as well, but Doomby starting to roam down. Both mid laners are 7. And as FPX clear out this ward, walking back through river into the 2 versus 2, we now wait.
Up in much slower pace, but right now Tien is at that level 6 mark that we talked about, so feeling like they can do Dragon. They also have push in the mid lane with Duinbi, and their bot lane also hovering over, so going to be an easy first objective for them.
Well, with 30 seconds for Riptail. Yep.
This game is much slower than I expected.
True.
Like just, especially from knowing FPX, even this split FPX have been a team that have kind of just been known to kind of ram their face into the wall and hope something works.
I guess when we see those first ultis, then we'll accelerate from there, but Sonic Wave taken. Mark brings Tien over the wall with him with the Blast Cone. FPX is still invading through. Xie low on mana, walking towards this blue buff. Trenchline won't connect, but Xie's in a corner. The flash shield of Duran actually connects with Exhaust just as punched down. And Xie against the wall has nowhere to go.
And that was a positive caster curse there, guys. It said nothing happens and something happens.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, FPX, looking for the aggressive play. Great job of using their pressure in both their lanes to look for this early blue buff. And this was the action around bot side that we expected.
Cold lead for FPX. Kill over to the Lee Sin. What more could you want?
And LGD just keep looking for this play in bot lane.
LWX showing so much respect.
I don't think he'll fall for it. He also does have cleanse, so he could get burst extremely quick. So we're going to see LWX's reaction times.
Waiting against the wall. Xenoflight does connect the cleanse and the flash. Dodges from Enchanticus Arrow. And Chris now on the other side, though. I think he's actually just going to be called out. His ulti is up and available for the support. He's not going to commit it. Just gets vision. Peanut gets a kill.
That's so sad. LWX's reaction times were on point.
Sick.
The sidestep was sweet, but Chris not in a great position, does get punished. And we just see LGD continue to punish the spot lane, which is going to open up the Herald for FPX.
It begins from Tien. Xie walking up as well to get vision, while Lungxing can't do too much about it. He's pushed against his turret.
Let's also remember that now Xie has no Destiny, so our Duinbi does still have his ultimate.
Yep.
So even after this Herald, we could maybe see a reset come in from Tien and see some kind of massive play onto bot lane where Galio can follow, but Xie, no ultimate, no TP. It's a window we want to see abused.
I do want to say, though, well, that bottom play went badly. In terms of, hang on, no, it's happening again. They're just doing it once more. Chris now flashes away, but in front, Peanuts flashed there with the haymaker. He'll trade his life, but Mark, LWX takes 2, and it looked cool, but LGD, that went badly.
And the funny thing is, we've seen FPX do this before, where they try way too hard to find these plays, bot, overcommit, and give kills over. It looked clean from Peanut at first, like you said, but great job by Crisp and LWX to find the kills in the end. Also going to help Duinbi get some pressure.
Varus now has 2 kills.
Yes, yes he does.
And
now we get some plates in mid.
FPX are going to net a gold lead from this. And after Peanuts picked up 2 himself, FPX take the lead, and we've got Berserker Greaves already. Let's see what LWX buys. Because he should be going Blade of the Royal King first. He picks up a Cutlass, and we'll watch this one again.
Yep, we see the flash and right there coming in with Set. Ulting under the turret, though, was not exactly the play. And then Mark left under turret. I love the question mark pins coming out. And I love LWX's reaction as well to where, I mean, stone face. No expression at all. Okay. Just like another day in the office.
If you're going to do that, I'm gonna take it.
Gold still pretty even, though. We do see especially plates for LGD in the bottom lane, but obviously FPX did just pick some up themselves. Also, gold going to be close because of, TF's passive, of course.
What do we think about scaling this game? Because when there's some similarities through the comp, there's very different elements that make them tick. We've got an on-hit Varus versus a Ashe.
I mean, I feel like this is going to be extremely close. I mean, right? We have these more CC skirmishing AD carries. We have 2 bruiser top laners. The only difference really is jungle, where you have a Lee Sin versus Set. Set definitely offers way more in a late game scenario. And I'd even say Twisted Fate's like damage is obviously way easier to maneuver. So maybe slightly favoring what LGD have, but still, I actually don't feel like scaling is going to matter. It's going to be who's going to get the advantage in this mid game.
Okay. Built up to an even gold lead once again. Twisted Fate is shielded around and goes. Xie might be caught out here. Kicked on back. Nicely done. Swooped through, but he still lives on. Depth charge onto this mid TF, who they still haven't taken down. Face breaker onto Tien, and FPX just couldn't kill a squishy old boy.
Nope, they didn't have the damage with the Galio and the Nautilus, and Xie surviving. Good roam coming from LGD's bot lane as well to facilitate that play. And I mean, Dragon's coming up right now.
That Rod of Ages then, I guess, would have paid dividends in that fight for Xie.
He didn't even have to use stopwatch.
Yep.
So he was still safe.
Dragon you mentioned, heading down now is LGD. Peanut going to take that off. And Peanut being there at the right place at the right time here in this first game. The teleport's going to be used. FPX getting dove here. Gimgoon ulties on the spot because that's Volibear's ult for you. Match the flash. Hero's entrance now. Gimgoon still dies. Duinbi's in the middle with a double shielded Duran onto Lungxing, but that's his damage with Protobelt down. The minions helping out. Lungxing still getting chased under turret. He's going to die. And Xie now getting chased too. Shielded Duran for gold card. They neutralize each other out, but Tien is on the way up. One more gold card necessary. Tien still here. Sonic Wave connects. Under turret though. Goes golden with the help of that stopwatch.
I mean, right there is what we talked about earlier, where it's very easy for the Twisted Fate to kite out the Galio with the gold card, so not going to go down in the end. Ends up being a 1-for-1, and we see the advantages of the Twisted Fate Destiny over the Galio ult, where obviously you have a lot more like onus to be proactive, but still going a bit too deep. Longxing going down in the end. But you have 2 kills on your Twisted Fate and on your set, so that does feel really good for the side of LGD.
But still no gold lead. No. We just get that point once again at 14 minutes here, where nothing's really been resolved.
Yeah, and I expect we will have something like a Herald probably spawning in the near future, so that will be kind of the next line of attack for either side. Again, like both have pressure. I do expect LGD to have pressure topside with the Renekton right now, so if Herald does spawn soon, maybe that's something LGD look to make a play on. But that also goes against what LGD have been doing all game long, which is just having Peanut hard camp bot lane.
Yeah.
Though it has not worked, so I think there's an argument to kind of change course.
Technically it works, just for FPX, you know.
That's true.
That Herald under a minute.
We also see that right now Gimgoon is close to the Triforce. I mean, even has 2 daggers to where Longxing, very close to Black Cleaver as well, also has the Executioner's Calling.
It's impressive that Doomby has a gold lead over Xie when the TF passive is quite good, but there is a 12 CS lead from Doomby.
Also the plates that we saw come in earlier.
That's true.
So, but you're right. I'm actually still surprised that he does have the gold lead. And nope! Peanut going for it once again, but LWX is by himself.
He is, and here comes Mr. Quick as everything synergizes up, but cleansed away with one. The Solar Flare too far forward from Mark.
Yeah, that was something. I didn't even like the ult combos coming in from the set in the Ashe, honestly, because you just kind of CC'd an already CC'd target, and then it's like, I don't have words. I don't have words.
That was about as good as the acting from the room.
No.
The actor of Mark. Let's take it away to the Herald that FPX are taking. Meanwhile, now Peanut likes bottom lane.
Let's see.
We can confirm.
Does this one work out?
It does, because it's a turret, not a person.
I mean, they're posturing for a dive.
They got the turret, though.
Well, okay.
Nice.
Thank God. Thank God they didn't try to dive him.
Do you think turrets are people? Do you think Galio is a person?
Yes.
He's technically like the same as turret. Let's watch this.
Again, so both CCs hit it at the same time, so he actually got so much value out of that cleanse, and then Mark with the ultimate, like you said.
Didn't, I guess he thought he was going to flash away. So
yeah, I mean,
the props to Mark is,
you know, he was predicting. Like, it's not. It's
and when those go right, you look like a god.
Yeah.
But then when they go wrong, you look silly.
I mean, I feel like the bigger issue was the showstopper Enchanted Crystal Arrow.
Yeah. I like this game because the early game is like tit for tat, you know, back and forth, where we're constantly trading. We're building towards this mid game. And we're going to launch ourselves towards these objectives. And some crucial fights going to come. This game might just come down to one big fight.
And for FPX, it looks like it needs to when you look at their comp, because one of the differences these 2 comps have is that FPX is definitely way more...
Pause. Xie gold card, but not in time. Gimgoon just ults out. The bear running away. And he's out. And once again, LGD. Really, the bot lane is cursed for them this game. Absolutely cursed. Do not go down there. Doesn't matter who's there. Just stop going there.
Yeah, it has not been working. And that's so nice for FPX. But going back to FPX, their comp definitely feels more reliant on some kind of like big wombo, right? You need a massive taunt coming in from Doomby, setting up a great ult by Gimgoon into the members of LGD. And then, you know, LWX able to free hit, you know, from a safe position on the back line. To where, since LGD do have the Twisted Fate especially, like, you know, you have 2 ranged carries, it feels there's more maneuverability.
Plus, picking off someone before the fight actually starts, very optimal. With 5 now channeling in, FPX have the river to themselves, but on a ward in Chanakosara, we talked about this. The pickoff will be Crisp, who goes golden. Hero's entrance onto Lungxing, who flashes away. This is the fight maybe a little bit earlier than expected. Doomby trying to run away. FPX alone in the wild card. Hits Crisp in the back line. Numbers advantage. Never played too far away. As the poke from LWX cannot be underestimated. Dragon is continued. LGD have low health bars themselves.
Yep, and they're still going for it. LWX still strong. Even Doomby having the exhaust, but they don't want to go for it.
Away it goes. Sonic Wave was very close, but Peanut secures. into the Ocean Rift.
I don't know why I highlight exhaust, but
Yeah, excited.
he does have it.
He does.
So LGD get Dragon though.
Yeah.
And that fight is kind of what we said about the maneuverability, right? We saw Doinby having to ult to save Crisp, and goes back to that pick potential we talked about with LGD.
Yep.
And then Doinby isn't able to get a taunt off on the backline. We see Kramer and Shie able to kite it out, and then just a beautiful Q coming out from Shie to secure that kill onto Crisp as well.
And now we're back to normal. When's Peanut going to come back?
Even Shie going a much safer route, also the more like engage-oriented route with the Twisted Fate, so he can definitely make a lot more aggressive plays and buy time with that Zhonya's. But, we saw a good Enchanted Crystal Arrow, forces Doinby to use an ult now. Keep your eyes on Kramer and Shie. They're in the back. They're just able to kind of freely weave in and out of this fight since they're not in harm's way. Very nice Q coming out from Shie. Bit of a misstep from Chris.
And a misstep from LWX in the same vein as we come back to life. I don't know what happened.
I mean, look, ult's down. So apparently just a combination. Actually, 4 ults down for the side of LGD. So
they killed the AD carry.
Worth.
Now they got avenues. Can't get mid, but we'll be heading towards bot, waiting for another pick.
And what a nice window to abuse, too, because, the theory, picking the Galio and the Twisted Fate is, even against something like an Enchanted Crystal Arrow, sure, you have, long-range pick potential, but Galio can always follow up with his ultimate as well. Galio ultimate is down. We see just straight chain of CC come out this time. They just really don't like LWX.
No, that was hardcore bullying. What the heck? Well, it works, it works. And LGD in a 2K gold lead after the last fight, after the pick on LWX. And being proactive here, the name of the game.
I mean, the nice thing for them too, right, is sure, I guess in theory, Galio can follow up on any target you try to pick off.
Mark might be called out. Flashes the shield of Duran, nowhere near enough. As Kramer was pretty much the only one. Peanut not ready. But you had a theory?
I was going to say, we're actually seeing potentially more posturing.
Oh, he's going to get spotted out by that.
I was going to say LGD have more long-range tools of engage, right? To save the Enchanted Crystal Arrow along with the Destiny. So, Doinby might not always be able to follow up. They could even set up plays where, maybe we Destiny in, which sets up that baiting out the Galio ultimate. But guess what? You solve the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. You can rinse, repeat, look for the play again before that's up. Right now, we're very similar on item breakpoints as well, right? Even looking at Doinby's items, who we were just talking about, the Protobelt into the Zhonya's to match Shie, though he did just get the Sheen. He's going to do a bit better in these fights.
Also note that we've got ourselves a second item almost here on Peanut, who is going to be a little bit of front line.
And we said that's one of the big differences once we start scaling in the game is kind of the functionality of the set in this comp, as a frontliner, as an engage, even disengage tool versus something like a Lee Sin, who's really only going to be able to maneuver around fights and try to find these kind of big picks to either set up a kill onto Kramer or Shie or disengage for LWX.
We should at least see it coming towards this next dragon, which is what we'll be aiming for in a second in 1 minute 20. Baron sitting up there and waiting.
That's the thing about this game is, we at least know every time a dragon's up, both teams are going to fight for it. Both teams need to fight for it. We can't see a team just either try to cheekily steal Baron or something like that. The DPS isn't there. These comps need to go toe-to-toe.
FPX, before this comes up, want to kill Shie. Timing would be great. He's going to pace his way back. He does have teleport if he needs to get to the bottom lane, but all of FPX are backing. LGD have already done that, and they're back out on the map themselves with 2 items pretty much in hand for everyone. Lungxing about to show us what he's picking up for his second now. Does he have enough?
Still Kramer and Shie to serve line roll.
Get around the side.
I think from the side of FPX, it's massive that they can find the Galio taunt and the Gimgoon ultimate onto the likes of Kramer and or Shie.
Who's between everyone. Destiny's going to be used to start off the Enchanted Crystal Arrow there in the back of the pit. The Dragon's still healthy, though. Smited away by Peanut, now on Salt Point, but LGD get engaged on. It's Doinby, interrupted with Peanut's ult. The Facebreaker flies. Lungxing zones LWX. LGD might be low, but FPX have lose quite a lot. The LWX walks back in, and Lungxing will end up dying for the Dragon. So 2 for 1. And in the end, LGD might be okay if they can get the rest away.
Ooh, Gim. Okay. Very, very cheeky smite by Peanut, but Right, that fight shows us how close these compositions are. It looked really scary at first. LGD, especially when he comes with the man ultimate. Tries to go in with the taunt, but Peanut was a massive ultimate. But ultimately, FPX won the first leg of the kill, so we did see the game from now. We see LWX able to really show the efficiency of walking. That really feels like a godsend.
Point for LGD is a very big note.
Yes, and you know, while we're waiting, we could have story time.
Ooh.
Because as we were walking on break, I asked you if that farm story was true. If you guys weren't here for the first series, he told us this heartwarming story of growing up on a farm with like cousins, transitioning to playing League of Legends. And in the break, he confirmed to me it was all a lie.
Let me just say, no one heard that, so I'm never going to confirm or deny. Hang on, teleport. Shielded Duran for Mark. Good timing, FPX. I'm saved. Right in the corner. He's dead. They're in front of Baron.
They're going to do it, too. It's FPX. Like, if FPX finds a pick like this in front of Baron, they are going for it. LGD going to be forced to go with the response. They do still have a ton of engage, even AoE options coming out from Renekton and Peanut.
5K. Is it quick enough? Destiny being used. In front of this pit, Chris delaying time in the back, the steal, and Peanut gets it. Now for the re-engage, LGD need to run. Xie not committing to the fight. Instead, it's Lungxing who will sacrifice alongside Peanut. Kramer died earlier. Only one with the Baron that was stolen away.
I mean, that's still massive in my opinion because you have it on a champion that can also sit freely in a side lane, put pressure down on some turrets. And realistically, you're still the team with the gold lead. You're still going to come up in time for Dragon. That was a massive blunder by the side of FPX. Let's see how it happens.
All right.
So we're going to see
the same level.
Yeah, so Tia jumps out right. That's what I thought happened. I knew a member of FPX jumped out. I wasn't sure if it was Tien, but unfortunate. Peanut punishes. And yeah, they still get the Baron on Twisted Fate. And I feel like that's massive.
Now we have to watch. Dragon's coming up in a minute. Xie doesn't have TP, but he will have Destiny for it.
Xie also just completed his Sheen, which is a massive power spike for the Twisted Fate.
Lichbane.
Yeah,
that's the one.
I'm sorry, Lichbane. There we go. Thank you.
How dare you? That's okay. But we got a lot of items coming across the board to the third almost here for both AD carries. While for Peanut, he's got a Spectre's Cowl in his inventory too. Xie is sitting in the jungle right now, picking up some CS. Just waiting for this 20-second timer. If LGD get Ocean Soul, if they manage a fight in front of this Dragon pit, that Baron should have another 30 seconds to help push out.
Crisp in a bit of an awkward place. And let's keep our eye on if LGD are the ones starting up this fight once again. Again, they've had really good coordinated engages. Pretty much both fights we've seen where Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes out the same time as the Mark engage. Obviously, they do have Peanut's ultimate up as well.
Ashe spotting comes in for value once again.
And also, along with the Ashe, we need to remember they have Destiny too, so it actually doesn't matter too much if FPX can deny the vision. They always have a way of getting that vision back.
Chris actually zoning out here for now. Hero's entrance going to be used very early. It's only onto one mark. Tanks up, who flashes away. Xie into the backline, trying to bait them through. Zhonya's will be used as well as Peanuts there as well. But LGD have separated the fight. Tien gets low, will trade for Xie's life as Gimgoon now the recipient of damage, which Langxing takes care of. Tien jumps back in, has to flash away. And that's a win for LGD because now the Dragon could be theirs.
Yeah, Tien is still alive. You know, he's at least, he does have the XP on his Q, has Smite.
He's so low, though, and Langxing's here, flashes onto him, and he's dead. Langxing doesn't matter if he goes down here. Ocean Soul acquired. Kramer moving forward, and Doom being forced to flash. Kramer needs to kill this Galio. But LWX will be the next target, even under turret. He doesn't care. He could die. But it's all worth it in the end as Peanut hits him once, makes him go golden. And Doombeat with the Justice Pudge, actually playing this well, somehow survives in this messy game.
Yeah, that was a bit extra coming out from LGD, but they pick up the Dragon Soul, so gonna feel really good with that one. We see a bunch of items, breakpoints being hit for the side of LGD. TP, Christmas here.
Xie's coming though, Destiny being used, and they're like, no, let's leave.
That's nice too, even just using the thread of Destiny, not even having to commit. Big brain play coming out from Xie, but look at the Magi stacks on Doom. 18.
Yeah.
And we see here, LGD once again engaging onto Crisp. Xie comes in the backline, which kind of pulls their attention away and leaves Crisp in a really awkward position. Xie does Zanya, so he buys a lot of time from FPX. And I was actually surprised here because LWX is in a really good position to get a bunch of damage done right here, but doesn't feel comfortable walking forward. The rest of LGD do, so they do zone off and get the Dragon there.
Tien ward hopped and LWX is walking away, so it feels like a bit of miscommunication at the very least, which is not something you'd say between Tien and LWX.
I'm still just really surprised with the 18 stack Magi's.
Yeah. Kind of came out of nowhere. Left field. 3 stacks now only available for Xie after he died. So the better off mid laner right now is Doombeat, but there is an Ocean Soul on LGD. Elder's coming up in 4 minutes 20. And that Ocean Soul won't matter if FPX are able to get Elder, so that's kind of the nice part, is that it's not said and done.
Let's also remember that, I remember Munchables mentioned this on broadcast the other day when I was listening that, you know, Ocean Soul, you know, like, it's not amazing against things like Burst, right? But against FPX comp, which is just a ton of sustained DPS, it's gonna do a ton.
Yep. What are you waiting for, Lyric? What are we waiting for next?
I was waiting to hear what you were waiting for, but
we wait for each other.
Yeah,
it's kind of sweet. Baron's up in 50 seconds. We're at a 32-minute game where LGD have the ability not to get caught out as Mark is doing so. He'll pop the stone plate, solar flare, but no one's here. FPX then turn their attention to the TP in from Langxing. Gimgoon ults as well. They're just taking him out one by one. Langxing drops over the wall to Xie. Sonic Wave connects, and LGD ants to the slaughter.
Yeah, that one was a bit weird because, remember, that started off with LGD walking into FPX's jungle, trying to get vision down, even then posturing.
Dredge line dodged away from. Haymaker does quite a lot. Xie heading forward with Kramer. Okay.
I mean, FPX should be able to get Baron off this. This 5v3 Gimgoon is low, but he has TP up, so going to very easily be able to rejoin this fight.
Both level 14, but Peanuts around the side of the pit once again.
Doonby has ultimate up as well, so even Tien has ultimate, right? So he can keep Peanut away.
Look at that deep TP, though, for FPX. Might be poured out as the cleanse is used. Peanut right in front of the pit once again. Haymaker being stored up. Crisp is low. Gimgoon running towards them as the hero's entrance will only be onto the jungler, but they've killed Kramer. And the DPS now minimized with Mark rejoining the play, but Peanut is already dropping and Xie being zoned out. Langxing has come back to have his last hurrah as LGD have just been washed.
And LGD just mistake after being the ones to win the fight and get soul. So FPX at least going to be able to get a mid inhibitor.
I think they just end.
Can they win?
30 seconds on the bottom lane, 25 for Peanut. You know FPX, they're going to try and end the game.
And this honestly just came out of nowhere. I honestly don't know what to say. LGD have Ocean Soul.
And they're about to get absolutely bamboozled. Kind of a disappointing way to end when you're LGD making it competitive the whole time around and running into FPX. You'll give them, that's right, I said give them the game 1 win.
Like, the thing is,